Cool.
What's up, fam? And what's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. I'm coming to you from Austin. We're going to talk about the Premier League. We're going to talk about Man City winning, and then Arsenal responding up at Newcastle and staying on Man City's behind. We're going to talk about Newcastle losing in that same game to Arsenal. We're going to talk about Man United dropping points after Newcastle dropped points, and Liverpool gaining points, and Lee Hudson, stand-up comic from England, co-host and Southampton fan, is going to explain to us why the Premier League schedule is the way it is this weekend, where there's some games Saturday, some games Sunday, and why the rest of the games weren't played. So what's up, Lee? What's going on over there? Why is the schedule like this?
Hey, it's because it's the weekend of the Coronation of King Charles. So basically, we get a public holiday tomorrow, which is that's the upside for me. I don't really particularly care about some old dude inheriting his mum's hat. That's what the thing is. But yeah, I mean, so tomorrow's a public holiday, so there's 3 games tomorrow. They've got like an afternoon game, an evening game, then a night game. But it just meant there was less games over the regular weekend days because of that. So although like most of the top end of the table stuff has been dealt with over the weekend, I guess. But yeah, there's those 3 games tomorrow, including my boys against Forest, which for me pretty much means nothing.
I can't even I don't even want to try to like whip up some type of form of encouragement. I'm just gonna leave your thoughts on that game right there. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And even if you do win by some surprise, I'll still leave it right there. I'll just talk about the result itself. And pretty much that's about it. Yeah, because we don't know. What Southampton might just climb back into their turtle shell right after that and play in the shell for the next 2 games or whatever they got left. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll go to the top of the table first, and then we'll go down to the slums of the rest of the team fighting for the top 4. And when I say teams fighting for the top 4, Man United didn't really fight for the top 4 today, but somehow we're still in it. But the 2 teams at the top played. So first, I think it was Saturday, Man City played, and Man City. So it's a game they could win. It's Leeds. It's Sam Allardyce's first game, and at first, it was farcical. Man City go 2 up in no time, and they're dominating. And you're like, is this why they hired Sam Allardyce? To just go head down, ass up, like at the start of the match? Is like the old coach could have did this. But then Man City didn't take their chances. And the second half was a little different. Man City was still dominant, but they kind of, sometimes when you're winning, you just know you're winning, and it kind of like you lose your intensity, and then the other team realizes they're not under the cosh as much, and they slowly wake up. But before Man City got the shock, they got a penalty, and Gundogan had scored both goals for Man City, and Haaland is Man City's penalty taker. But Haaland, being a team player, like he's playing on a team where these guys have made him the record Premier League season scorer. Like everybody's contributed to do it. He appreciates them. And so his sensitivity and sentiment makes him hands the ball to Gundogan to take the penalty. And Gundogan is the captain that day. And he's like, yeah, I'll go take the penalty and get a hat trick, and we'll be up 3-0. Game over. Gundogan takes the penalty, misses. Right after he misses, Leeds go down the field and score. Now it's 2-1. Now the whole season is in jeopardy because there's a few minutes left in the game, but there's enough time for Leeds to tie this thing and for City to drop points. And it was a harrowing, like a game that was like like written off already in the taxes of Leeds and the credit already given to Man City just for the game. Now the whole Man City season is in jeopardy because if they drop points and Arsenal win, then the race is back on. But Man City holds on. Pep is mad because he didn't want Haaland to give Gundogan the penalty, and he was right. It shows you how thin the margin of error is, even with kindness in football. You have to be selfish sometimes, meaning the best player has to do the best thing and be selfish and do it himself, or else you could lose a league. And it would be so comical if that was the play that they lost the league on, So, but it all worked out. Man City won 2-1, and that game got pretty interesting because the stakes went up right after Leeds scored that goal, and it was the biggest game Leeds has ever been in a long time in the Premier League, and it was a final. The last 10 minutes became a final for Man City. Yeah. So, would you, if you were Haaland, would you have without the hindsight, what would you have done? Like, you've played,
I'd still have taken it.
You still would have taken it.
Yeah, at 2-0. If it was like 4-0, I'd have gone, yeah, you have it. But not a 2-0. And like, do you see the video of Pep on the sideline? Like, you could see him like pointing and shouting, like, you should have taken it. You should take it. And yeah, obviously he was unhappy that the team orders got sort of overruled. I can understand why Haaland did it because, I think most times Gundogan, he's a technically solid player. He's a good player under pressure. So most times you'd expect him to just roll that one in, the penalty, and it'd be fine.
I think he was one of their leading penalty taker one year. I think I'd have to look it up. But yeah.
So you just assume players of that quality will just finish, and obviously if he scores the penalty, then it's fine. No one's talking about it, and it wasn't the worst penalty in the world. It wasn't the best, obviously,
right.
But it is what it is, and yeah, I mean, City did enough to get it over the line. I think it was odd seeing a game where Haaland didn't score, but it wasn't. I don't think Allardyce or Leeds did particularly well in shutting him out because he had chances. He was just having an off day in front of goal. Like, he was doing all the things he needed to do to get in the right positions, but his finishing was just like a fraction off. He hit a couple like just wide. He hit the post. He made the keeper make a good save. So he could have had a hat trick on another day. But I guess, when other people are clinical, it doesn't really matter because Gundogan's 2 goals were really good, typical attacking centre midfielder goals where you arrive in the box late and make the finishes, which he did. So, yeah, credit to him for the 2 goals he did score. And credit to Leeds for putting up a fight, like you say, second half. They stayed in the game. They could have easily capitulated, and City's finishing was a little bit better. They might have done, but even though City were missing chances, they kept working, and they obviously got their goal. Interesting choices from Allardyce. He changed the keeper as well because Meslier, the French kid in goal, he's been under some criticism recently for some of the mistakes he's been making, some of the goals he's been conceding. So he changed the keeper around, just trying to freshen things up. And yeah, interesting choices. But I think it was always, like you say, it was always going to be a write-off really for Leeds, this one. Getting Allardyce in wasn't to get anything out of this game. It was to look at the next games after that to try and do something. So I don't think this really changes anything for Leeds. You don't really anticipate going to Man City and getting a win. So I don't think their planning will change at all. And yeah, interesting for City. Obviously, they got the points and it put the pressure right back over to Arsenal because they did their job just about.
Yeah. And then we're going to go to the Arsenal game, which was a pretty impressive game by Arsenal. And normally, when one team wins and you listen to TalkSport or just any post-game review of it, they slam the other team for losing. It's like the winner is the winner, and then the loser lost because they didn't do anything. And I disagree a lot. But this is one of those games where I don't think people can say Newcastle didn't do anything. That game started at a decibel level that was out of this world. I was like, how is Arsenal going to handle this shit? Like, if you just use logic, Arsenal could not beat Newcastle at home. And Newcastle is in form now. You know, one of their best forms of the season. They've had like a series of like different sets of times when they were in form, but they're definitely in form now. And now they want to get top four. They're in it already. They want to stay in it. They know about the dangers and the possibilities of Liverpool coming in and taking it away from them, or Man United. So they were just, the crowd knew it. The crowd wants Champions League football. The players want it. And they started that game giving their all. And they created chances immediately. Murphy hit the post. And I was like, I knew this was going to be a tough game for Arsenal, but I was like, this is good luck. But Arsenal weathered it out and got an early goal and traded back and forth with Newcastle. Like Arsenal just like put their chests out too and rose to the challenge. And yeah, they got their goal and they created chances. Pope in the Newcastle goal had like that. You know, he had a really good game. He had some amazing saves. Ramsdale had a good game, had some amazing saves, and both teams are trading. Like, each midfield affecting each midfield, starting fast breaks, counterattacks. Just a good, entertaining, fun game to watch. But also the stakes are there because both teams, one is trying to like keep the chase up, and the other one is trying to stay in the top four. But I guess my question is, do you think if Arsenal was still in the lead for the title and Man City was chasing them, that they would have played like this? Or is it easy for Arsenal now to play like this because they're chasing Man City as opposed to being hunted down by Man City? It's like, has some pressure been kind of alleviated and now they have nothing to lose, so they're back to their regular season form the way they started the season? Do you think being behind is a more comfortable position for them?
I don't really think so. Like, I think because the fact that Man City played earlier in the day and won, I think that put the pressure on Arsenal, because it's like, well, if you want to, hope that we make a mistake in the final few games, you need to win this one just to keep pace with us. So I think that it still put a level of pressure on Arsenal because of that, because right now Arsenal are 1 point behind and City have a game in hand. But if Arsenal lost that game, then it's almost like over in the next game then. So I think Arsenal responded to that well. And like you say, Newcastle came out the traps flying. They played Callum Wilson and Isak. Sometimes recently they've only been playing one or the other. They rotate them around, but they played Isak sort of off wide, coming in. And yeah, like you say, Murphy hit the post, Isak hit the post, Ramsdale had to make some good saves, and then up the other end, Martinelli with that curling shot that came off the bar, and some of the saves Pope made. It was a really, really good game to watch, just end to end, just two teams trying to win a game of football and playing good, like fast football as well. It was just a really good sort of high quality Premier League game, I thought. And interesting, obviously Arsenal, they get a clean sheet and a win, and they started the Polish centre back again instead of Rob Holding. Who knows? Kivior.
Kivior, he's looked good. Yeah, I like him.
And who knows, if they'd maybe played him a few games earlier, things might have been different. But no, I don't think he would have made that much of a difference against City, because Haaland's Haaland. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, City are well in the driving seat with that game in hand, and with the point over Arsenal already. So I'm hoping Arsenal can keep winning, because I want this race to stay alive as long as possible. The longer it goes on, towards the final day, the better. Arsenal, just having a look at their remaining games here, they have home to Brighton, away to Forest, home to Wolves. I think Forest and Wolves, you'd expect them to win those games, although they lost away to Forest in the Cup before, when Forest was still a championship team, so who knows. But Forest, by that second game, they could be confirmed safe or still in the mix for relegation, so who knows. I think they'll still be in the mix by then. But Brighton, obviously, is no easy game for Arsenal. They lost to them at the Emirates last season.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no sort of huge gimmies for anyone really. And City, again, it's not the easiest as well. They go away to Everton, which should be comfortable for them, but then they've got Chelsea, and obviously Chelsea have turned their form around this weekend, and they've got good players.
Hold on. Turn their form around. Slow down, bro. They got to win. They got to win, and they scored 3 goals. Yeah,
exactly. That's the start of them turning it around potentially. And City Chelsea is a big game, and big game players sometimes step up, and Chelsea do have some big game players. So they didn't show it against Arsenal the other week, but who knows? They may want to go and cause some problems at City. Then City play away to Brighton, which again, not a given. And then City's final game is away to Brentford. Brentford might not have anything to play for by then, but Brentford have already beaten City at City, so we know they can cause them problems. So City have got some games there where they could slip up as well. I think they'll be focused enough that they won't, and they're good enough that they won't. But those games aren't, a guaranteed City walkover.
So if Man City wins the title, is there going to be like revisionist history, and when people look back years from now and say, remember that year when Arsenal chased Man City down for the title and missed catching them? Or are they going to remember the whole thing and say, remember when Man City chased Arsenal down, passed them, and then Arsenal chased them down and didn't catch them? Like how are people going to see this?
Well, I think people will remember that Arsenal were top for a lot of the season, because I still remember old seasons. I remember a season, I think it was 95, 96, when Newcastle were top of the league for a long spell and United were chasing them down. And Ferguson started playing his mind games, and Kevin Keegan went on Sky Sports after a game and had a meltdown live on Sky Sports with the whole, you need to go and take these teams on, and Ferguson's being disrespectful towards them, and I would love it if we beat them, like that whole famous quote. Like, I remember that season because Newcastle, I think, had a 12-point lead in that season,
right?
And they blew it. So those ones, they stick in the memory. They, like, people remember that shit, especially when if you were top of the league for 3 weeks and then blew it, people don't remember that. But Arsenal were top for a long time, so I think that'll be remembered for sure. And I think finishing second, which they're almost certainly going to do. I don't know if they're confirmed second yet, because they're 16.
They got 80 something points. Newcastle got 60 something. There's no way Newcastle or us is catching them.
Yeah. So Liverpool, I mean, second place. If you offered that to Arsenal fans at the start of the season, they'd be like, "Yeah, we'll take it," because that's back in the Champions League.
I know, but it's not the start of the season.
No, it's not. But it's still a good season. And I think they'll strengthen in the summer, and it'd be interesting to see if they can make a title challenge next season, because I imagine there's teams who will get stronger and improve over the summer as well. So, or City could go out and find another player who completely changes their team and no one will get near them. And there won't even be a title challenge next season. Who knows? But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Hopefully, like I say, Arsenal can keep it going as long as possible, because I like that entertainment. When do the European games start for City? When's the Real Madrid game? Is that soon? Is that this week?
I don't think it's this week because of all those games. They're already playing, but who knows?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday? Oh, it's not.
Real Madrid, Man City's on Tuesday, and then the Milan derby's on Wednesday.
No, it's not. All right.
I've got shows those nights, but I might have to try and find like a pub near the venue to watch the game and just run in, do my spot, and then get back out to the games.
It's hard to find a pub in England, so good luck, especially one that plays football.
I mean, the shows are in London. It's always, it's such an easy thing to do. So it's some of the venues even have like the football show in the bar. So I'll be trying to find somewhere for both those games, because this is a big week of Champions League coming up then as well. So we got all the Monday games tomorrow, then Champions League Tuesday, Champions League Wednesday. I presume that means there's Europa League knockouts on Thursday, maybe. So
I don't have to be concerned about that. We're not in it. We got knocked out, so we got to focus now on the FA Cup final at the end after the end of the season. I think that is in June, and all we got to think about is like these next 4 games that we got coming up. And today was if you just go right to United, was pretty. I left it pretty dissatisfied, and I listened to some like fan forums or Man United centric podcasts, listen, we started that game so lethargic and finished it just a little bit above lethargic, because time increased our intensity when we were running out of it. But we started that game against West Ham, a game we should have won, but there's a lot of things, we lost 1-0, but let's just remember, we don't have our defense. We don't have Martinez. We don't have Varane. Both who have a World Cup, who have played more Varane at the highest level. Both guys know how to pass balls through the lines of defenses and get, they're good defenders, but they'll also help with us like advancing the ball. And not to shit on Shaw or Lindelof, who I feel like had good games, but it's just the explanation of not having our starters in no position, and then just having all the injuries we have, and in all the games that we played. And we played midweek and we lost to Brighton Hove last minute. That's kind of heartbreaking. And then we have to go to West Ham and play in the weekend. I just think it's the injuries and our schedule, because we were in all these contests for so long and we're still in another one. It's just taking its toll. It's like, it's the only explanation I can see for us not getting a response today, for Ten Hag not getting a response today after a loss midweek. So I'm not going to ride this team hard. It's like, in order to have a good sub off the bench, we had to start someone we wouldn't want to start. So it looks like we had some depth when we put in the player for him that we should have started. You know what I mean? So, we started Weghorst, and, it's the first time the midfield of Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen has lost. But, we just were lethargic, and De Gea didn't see that pass, that shot come through. I think that shot was harder than everybody is saying it is. He did get his hand to it, and he was moving in the opposite direction and came back the other way to try to save it. And like he could have saved it. And people are like shelling him right now, and they're calling it a goalkeeper error. But it was just tough. We haven't lost 2 games in a row in a minute, and we want to stay ahead of Liverpool, and we could have passed Newcastle. And as I told you before the podcast started, the fact that Newcastle lost and we had a chance to pass them by winning, and we lost and we dropped 3 points, it feels like we dropped 6 points because we didn't take advantage of the 3 points that Newcastle dropped. So that's why this was rough. Do you think Liverpool can catch us?
I think they can, but I think you'll just have about enough to stay in there. Today you didn't play terribly. There was a couple of big chances. Yeah, but I think there's like some big chances in the first half where if they go in, then you're fine. Like if that shot from Fernandes goes inside the post rather than just outside, or the shot from Anthony when Weghorst did really well to like chest the ball across to him, and that fell nicely for him. If that, goes in, and then the De Gea one, I would class it as a goalkeeping error. I think it's not, like you say, I think it's harder than people realise, but a
Right.
Premier League keeper should still be getting there. He sort of misjudged it a little bit. Like he got there, but it was sort of his hand was in the wrong position, and he just got his like technique all wrong. Which it happens. And I think he had been making less errors this season than previously. But like you say, I think the depth issues of your squad is what has cost you. Because you would have definitely been more solid if you had your first choice defense in. It really does make a difference. And I mean, on another day, De Gea saves that shot and your chances go in. It's just a bad day for you guys, which I don't think, like I said, I don't think you played that badly overall, but it just happened to fall like that. And you've got enough about you. We spoke earlier as well about 3 of your final 4 games at Old Trafford, and I think you tend to be a little bit stronger there.
We are.
So I'm confident. Like Liverpool could catch you, but I'm confident you'll see it out.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. Like I was confident we were going to beat West Ham, so I can't be confident now. But we are really good at home. Our fans really like cheer the team on, and so hopefully. Let me see who it is we're going to play just for the fun of it. We are going to play Wolves. So Wolves ain't the best team in the world, but they can give you trouble. They just beat, who did they just beat? Like Chelsea last week or something like that?
A few weeks ago, they beat Chelsea. Yeah, they beat Villa this weekend.
They beat Villa this weekend, yeah. So, but it's a home game, so we should beat that. But we're not making this top 4 thing easy. But also, just to remind ourselves, I'm not the only one who's a big United fan who has a podcast that none of us thought that United was going to make it to the top 4 this season. So we're suffering kind of the disease that Arsenal fans are suffering, where you didn't expect your team to be where it is at this point of the season. But Arsenal led the league so much, they thought we're going to win it. And then we were in the top 4 for so long, we thought it's our right to finish top 4, but you have to finish the games. So, but a lot of those people who would be disappointed if we don't finish top 4 already knew that was a highly likely outcome before the season started. They never thought that we could be here, So, we can't forget those things. And we're paying a lot of money for players. Like we clearly that were there before Ten Hag got there, that we clearly just need to get rid of and replace them with people who we pay that give us a more depth and a better bench. So I'm not going to say any names, but we lost. And we're being chased down by Liverpool, and Liverpool beat Brentford 1-0. And I'm going to kind of make an outrageous statement. This was one of Liverpool's best performances of their season. It's almost as good as when they beat us 7-0. And was it Bournemouth? Who did they beat like at the beginning of the season?
They beat Bournemouth 9-0.
9-0. This is up there to me for them, for this. And the reason why is because it's another clean sheet, which I think they did last week, but they've completely changed their style of play. And you could kind of see more in this game, the new team and the new way they're going to be. And to like get a win at home with this new style of play and to handle a team like Brentford who can give you trouble, I feel like it's a big step in the right direction and in an evolution. Could Klopp change to save his career at Liverpool? Yeah, we're in the middle of watching it, and they're this close to the top 4 after going through a harrowing season. And a lot of people say, hey, a lot of people want to go back to this cliche thing about how Liverpool misses Mane, but everybody needs to remember a part of the damage that happened with Liverpool this season is not losing Mane, it's losing Mane's replacement to an injury. So then you lose Mane, and then the guy who's going to replace him, he's injured for most of the season. So you really lose Mane. You lose Mane twice, and so there's a lot of goals there, and a lot of play there, and a lot of games that would have went different if is it Diaz?
Yeah.
It was healthy. He hasn't played so long. I can't even remember his name, but yeah. but next season it's gonna be. They might not need that as much work or surgery, Liverpool, as next season. A few players here and there, and then they could be back at it. What do you think?
I think it's mainly the midfield where they'll need to buy in the summer, just because the guys they have got in there have been getting old, and some of them are injury prone as well. Like Thiago's never fit every week. Henderson's obviously slowing down a little bit. Milner's old as fuck. And Keita as well, I don't think it's quite up to it in terms of consistency wise. But I mean, the big rumor is that they're going to get McAllister from Brighton. Because for a while Bellingham was a big target for them, but then I think they realized that it would require their whole budget for the summer on one player, and they don't want to do that, because I think they might need multiple signings. So it sounds like McAllister's high up there for them. Looks like he'd be a good fit. Obviously, he's had a good time at Brighton and with Argentina as well, and I think he'll fit in well there. And I mean, they might not need to buy that many centre midfielders because they got Trent in there now, or playing more central anyway. So they might need to go and buy a right back in the summer if they're going to start playing Trent sort of further infield. But I mean, I think with a few tweaks and a few smart buys, they could be right up there again next season.
Yeah, with a few tweaks and a few smart buys, something a lot of teams make the mistake of not doing. But Liverpool since Klopp has been there, has been good at making the right tweaks and smart buys. And so yeah. What's funny, like, and this is just an aside period. I was looking at United, and a lot of teams are jealous of Brentford, and look at Brentford and they'd be like, look at the way they buy and look what they've done, look at the players they got, and they got all these desirable acquisitions at a low price. But when you look at teams like that, you always forget about stuff that your team has done. And like we got Ericsson on a free transfer. Garnacho's a kid that's out of our youth system. We didn't pay like that much for him. We got Amad Diallo. He's going to wrap up his Sunderland Championship game playing career in a few, and he's going to come back to us for next season. And we got Greenwood before that. We got Rashford before that. So like we've done the things that we desire that we do, and we got Malacia for real cheap. Like when another team was going to buy him mid-season, and Malacia is going to be, I believe he's going to be one of our best left backs ever, because he has the intensity and the courage, and he makes mistakes, but he's got the quality and the courage to become like well-rounded and dope as hell and be one of the best left backs we got. So yeah, we've done some of the things. We just have to keep doing those things. And yeah, there's expensive players that you buy, but we also have bought a lot of players that didn't do what they were supposed to do. But we have.
Sorry, Karen.
No, go ahead.
I think people forget Ten Hag's only had 2 transfer windows, and he's got a lot of those buys right as well. Like he's improved the squad little by little. Even players like Weghorst, like he wasn't signing Weghorst to be like this, world-class start every game player. He brought him in because he could do a particular job in the short term, and he looks like he's, largely done that job. He's got some good assists. He's played well for the team, but I wouldn't say he's been like a failure.
Yeah, he hasn't been that good. Yeah,
no, I think he's underrated. I think he does a good job for the team. I think he's a team player. But you didn't sign him to be like this crazy score every game player. But he's done a good job for the team. And I think with money and another window, Ten Hag can improve the squad a lot more, because he's bought players that can do what he needs them to do or wants them to do when he's gone out and got the likes of Eriksen and Malacia as well, and Anthony and people. And I think next season, I think Anthony's really gonna deliver, because I think he's shown flashes of it this season.
Right.
And I like what he does. I like the way he plays. I think certain things Ten Hag's probably had to coach out of him, like maybe some of the showboating. Because when he's ruthless and when he's just cutting inside on his left foot and shooting or doing what he does, then he looks a good player. And I think Ten Hag and just playing in the Premier League as an experience will refine him. And I think he'll be a big player for you next season.
I don't care if he showboats, just go down the right sometimes. Like today, he got in front of somebody and then still cut in the middle. And it's like, you have to get your right foot stronger. So you can showboat with the right foot too, on the right side, on the outside of people, around some motherfuckers, and I'll be fine with that. Like showboat at all. It's just one player I'm just kind of like not disappointed in, but I would just love to get more from, but I just don't even, like Sancho is like, I don't even know like how to fix Sancho. It's like he costs a lot of money. We got him and he's not doing what you would want him to do for that money. You root for him. And this is not like something to bash him. I'm just like, I don't even know if he's ever going to be as good as what we paid for him. And that would be a disappointment, because I don't want him to get the Pogba treatment from the fans of United, even if, I don't want him to be a passenger. I want him to like come in with confidence and do stuff. So like, we'll see, but this is season 2, Jack Grealish is playing good for Man City with more pressure in season 2. And so Sancho's got to like, and I hope he does step it up. I'm rooting for him. So Southampton didn't lose this weekend because y'all didn't play.
We play tomorrow night.
You play tomorrow night. How do you feel about not dropping points this weekend? Any points this weekend?
It's a nice feeling. I've gone a whole weekend without disappointment. Although the only problem is it's a long weekend, so tomorrow still counts. But yeah, I've been accepting of our fate for a few weeks now. So whatever happens at Forest tomorrow, like you're saying at the start, if we lose, it doesn't change. If we win, it doesn't change. We still haven't got enough in the tank to get this back. So yeah, this is these are stress-free, these games for me now, because I'm watching them with full acceptance of who we are and where we're going. And I just want this season to wrap up for us now, because I want us to be able to crack on with the summer and move on the people that don't want to be here or who we don't want to be here, sort the management situation out, and then just rebuild for this new life that we've got on the horizon.
How many games you got left?
4.
Or maybe I'm
3.
Looking at this.
Check.
Yeah, if it's 4,
3 actually.
3, 9 points.
Oh no, we got 4. We got 4. Yeah.
Shit, bro. I said I wasn't going to do this.
No, don't tell me it's doable, because it's not.
I mean, Forest got 30, you got 24, they're 18 for 20. So that's 3 right there if you pull that off, even though you're at Forest. And then Leicester got 30 points. So I don't think you're catching West Ham. West Ham emphatically got out of the way of the relegation zone. As a matter of fact, West Ham fans, how do you feel about David Moyes winning and beating a top team today? Like, do you still want him gone? Probably yes, but it's going to make it harder for the powers that be to get rid of him and if he wins I want him to win the Conference League and see how West Ham fans feel. So, you know, I'm gonna kick the West Ham fans right now while they're up, you know, because they beat us today, but you still have to. You're closer to keeping David Moyes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
I mean, I'm
going back to
tempted.
us, can I just tell you that our last two games are Brighton and Liverpool?
Well, again, two teams that play in a way that you could beat them, and then. Oh man, I don't know who I think I told Lloyd this about you know, all week Sam Allardyce was getting calls from Arteta on how to beat Man City, and whoever plays Man City next is going to get sent a bottle of wine by Arteta and a "you up" text. And if they say yes, Arteta's like, "Let me tell you about my ex Man City and how to get under her skin." I mean, if you want to, you know, you don't have to listen to me, but I'm just saying, Everton.
Hey, if he knew how to do that, Arsenal would have beaten him.
you might as well try. Yeah, you're doing this for your team. Like, you call up Sean Dyche and say, "Hey man, I got some inside info. You want it or not? If you don't take it, you might go down. If you take it, you might stay up. So you want it or not? I would advise that you take this info." You feel me? And this info, if you use it right and get lucky on top of that, it'll help both of us because you play City next. All right? Let me know. You got a little time. You got till May 14th to decide. Is there anything else? Tottenham won. They beat Crystal Palace.
We got to shout out Neil's boys for ending their winless streak.
You know, see, Neil wrote funny things in the thing. He said, "We're gonna stay up."
Chelsea confirm survival with that win. But you know, Bournemouth are no mugs at the moment. They'd been putting off a little revival themselves. And you know, obviously Chelsea went 1-0 up. Gallagher scored a good header, and then Bournemouth pulled them right back. So I was like, oh, this is, you know, they're going to give them a tough ride. And then Chelsea, you know, just managed to find some quality. And Badiashile on the end of I think it was a Ziyech free kick.
Yeah,
Ziyech, the man they've been trying to get rid of.
The man on the outside.
Yeah, he swung a deep, dangerous delivery into the box, and Badiashile got on the end of it, and then Sterling makes a great run for the third goal where he just hands the ball off to Felix, who finished well. He got the sort of snapshot off early, took the keeper by surprise, and it's gone in. So yeah, solid win for Chelsea. Just looking at the table though, it's still crazy that they're the third best team in West London behind Brentford and Fulham still, which is madness. That they're still 11th in the league, but yeah, they are where they are. And I'm trying to see who they've got for the final games because I want to know how many points they're going to get. Their run is tough. Their run is tough. Other than they got Forest. They got Forest on Saturday. But after Forest, their final three games are away to City, away to United, home to Newcastle.
Away to us? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. We'll see.
They're not the easiest games.
I mean,
they got nothing to play for.
Yeah.
They only got pride to play for because they can't obviously go really up to anywhere. They can't go down to anywhere now. So they're just in the middle, just a nothing team.
No, not really. They can have a parade, celebrate not being in the Conference League and having to play every Thursday. So they can have an open bus parade with no Conference League qualifying like celebration going on. See, we won't subject you to that, fans. You should pat us on the back for that, for saving from that.
I guess that's the plus for whoever the new manager is that comes in. He's going to have a lot of time to work with them on the training field next season because they're not going to have that crazy schedule.
Yeah, it would almost be better if they're not going to be able to get the thing so that they could, with all those players, you need those extra games to figure out who your team is. But now he's just going to have to, new coach is going to have to guess. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. Tottenham win 1-0. So, yeah. So again, Roy Hudson loses to a team that from the top of the table. If he's this much greater than Patrick Vieira, he wouldn't just win the teams or beat the teams you expect him to beat, that Patrick Vieira would have beat. You have to beat a Tottenham team too, and you didn't. So I stand by mine on the firing of Patrick Vieira. He shouldn't have been fired. And then, so the Champions League, you want to talk about that a little bit and how you feel about Man City versus Real Madrid? How you think that's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think this could be City's year. I think City will do the job against Real Madrid, but that's just what I think. I think it suits City that it's the other way round to last year in terms of the games, because last year City played Real Madrid at home, I believe, and then played them away because it was the away game where it fell apart. I just think Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, they had like a bit more about them when they turned that game around. I think City, as long as they don't lose 5-0 tomorrow, or Tuesday, should I say, at the Bernabeu, then I think they'll take care of them at home. But, it's my thought that City are the favourites here, but you can never write off this Real Madrid team. Even with another year under their belts, even with Modric being another year older, Benzema being another year older, they don't age, those guys. They're still doing what they've done their whole careers. And, it's another year of experience under the belts of Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo, players that are stepping up more. They're still such a dangerous team, and they're in the semi-final. Like, you can't underestimate anyone in the semi-finals. Like, they're there for a reason, and they got so much experience, and they got so much experience of this exact situation as well. It's not like they're just experienced players in general. They're experienced of this particular thing, whereas City don't really have that throughout their team. They got it in some players, but not in all of them. Even someone like Haaland, he's never been this deep into the Champions League before and had to face this sort of situation. So I would still make City favourites though, just because of the sheer quality they've got from back to front in their team. Whereas I think they'll maybe expose some of Real Madrid's weak spots, which I think they do have at the back. I think the defence is probably the weakest part of the team at Real Madrid, and we'll see whether City can find those weaknesses.
Yeah, we're not just talking about Real Madrid, we're talking about the Copa del Rey champions. So they just won a title this weekend. Yeah. And the team, the players you mentioned, some of the key players, they're too old to play consistently enough to win La Liga at this age, but they're experienced enough to know which games to play in. And actually we have to play our youngest in these games. And it's a coach selection thing, and also the players rise to these occasions. So they're definitely gonna, or should rise to the occasion. I expect them to rise to the occasion against Man City, and that's what makes this leg of the playoffs semifinals intriguing, because because of the unpredictability of the rest of Real Madrid season. And that they rise to the occasion for big stuff like this. You can't just be like, let's give it. Man City's gonna win, because they should, but there's a possibility that Real Madrid could beat their ass. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then who's in the other one?
It's the Milan derby, AC versus Inter.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much in between those two teams as well. That one could go either way. I prefer AC Milan to win, just because they're the team they're like my Italian team.
Yeah, mine too.
I've been to the San Siro. I've got a Milan shirt somewhere deep in my cupboards. It's got Inzaghi 9 on the back. obviously his brother is the Inter manager. So yeah, it's they're just a team that I always loved over the years. The sort of players they had from the days of their Dutch players with Hullet and Van Basten and Rijkaard, and then all the classic sort of Italian and Brazilian players in the years after that with Cafu and people like that, and Kaká, and obviously Maldini, Baresi, Costa Curta, and Inzaghi, Gattuso, and people. Just a team I've loved over the years. Shevchenko as well when he was there.
Yeah, I love him.
Balling out. So yeah, they're just a classic teams they've had over the years. But I mean, yeah, they're an Inter. They're not. Neither of them are. I sort of think neither of them are at the powers they once had in the past. But they're both in the Champions League semi-final, and I think it will just be a big occasion having a derby game in a Champions League semi-final. It makes it a huge occasion. I don't think either of them have the same quality as the Real Madrid City game, but I think hopefully it'll be entertaining just because it's a derby as well. They should both want to be going all out for this one.
Right. Yeah, and they both have like a decent, well, at least AC Milan has a decent Champions League history. It's no Real Madrid, but they're up there. They might be the second most. Have won the second most, I think. But I'm just saying that I didn't check, but I know AC Milan got Champions League history. But yeah, let me see what else. I guess that's it, right? We covered it. We covered it all. The tomorrow matches: Everton versus Brighton. It's at Brighton. I don't expect Everton to win that. Nottingham Forest versus Southampton. I ain't gonna say no. You can say something you want because I'm gonna try to be positive, but yeah, it's just might be a waste of time.
Nah, this game's meaningless.
Meaningless
for us anyway. I mean, for Forest, they got a lot riding on it because they're still fighting. But no, we're done.
It's three matches involving relegation teams tomorrow. Leicester, Fulham, Forest, Southampton. And that's two relegation teams, and Brighton versus Everton. So Everton's the potential relegation team in that. So yeah, it's a big relegation Monday games. Yeah, the next, three of the bottom five are involved in tomorrow's games. So yeah, we're looking up at the top of the table all weekend. Now we can look down and rest our neck this way and check out how these results go. Well, all right, man. That's pretty good. I guess I'll try to plug some shit. I'll be at the La Jolla Comedy Club this weekend coming up, which is May 18th through 20th. I should look at this stuff officially. And I'll be at Zanies in Nashville. When will I be there? Just go to my Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic, and my shows are there at the link tree. Please, thank you, appreciate it, and thanks for all the love in Austin that I'm getting right now at the Comedy Mothership. It's Joe Rogan's club, and we're having a ball there. The crowds are coming, and yeah, it's kind of fun, man.
Nice.
Got anything you want to promote?
No, just hit Instagram, Lee Hudson Comedy. I'm doing shows mainly London, but a few other places around the UK as well. So yeah, I've got some stuff coming up north, Liverpool, Manchester in June. So yeah, just follow on there, and I'll post about what I'm doing.
Oh, cool. And yeah, we'll see, man. Well, thanks for joining. Get some sleep. We covered it all because there wasn't much to cover because the king got crowned. Did you watch any of it?
Nah. No, I don't particularly care. It's a bunch of rich old fucks doing rich old shit. It was being funded by the people as well. It was coming out of tax funds. So that's pretty shitty given that, there's people struggling to pay their bills right now. And yeah, I don't want to go too deep into my thoughts on it, but rest assured, yeah, I wasn't sitting at the TV watching it and cheering it.
Did somebody really carve a penis in the lawn, or was that like some Photoshop photo?
Oh no, I think that shit happened.
All
They
right.
probably got rid of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Probably spray painted it over it to make it the same color as the rest of the lawn again or something. But yeah,
As the shaft. Yeah.
I think that was a legit story. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. How does somebody get a lawnmower out there, like in a piece of land that's supposed to be guarded for like that huge event?
No idea. Some sort of inside job. Someone probably got fired.
Yeah, yeah. They probably have the camera footage, security footage of the person doing it.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably someone that was already like working their notice or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I'm leaving tomorrow, so fuck it, I'll do
it. Yeah, somebody about to retire.
it.
And it's the type of firing where the boss calls you them in the office. Look what you did. Look what you did. Listen, I have to fire you. But that shit is funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to fight that you get your severance, but good way to go out. But you got me in trouble, you know? But yeah. Well, all right, fam. Thanks for, joining and shit. I don't know how tired you are, but I have to do a show and I'm tired of shit. I don't know how I'm going to sleep. I'm going to do it. I got an 8 o'clock.
It's 1:37 a.m. here, so I'm pretty tired. But I've done my shows tonight. I'm good. I'm finished. I can go to bed now.
All right, shit. Let me run. I gotta run across the street and go do this thing.
I'm sure that club will energize you once you're in there. It looked awesome. The pictures from the other shows. So
yeah.
Yeah, man. Enjoy those final couple of days you got there.
All right, I will, fam. I'll holler. All right. Peace.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers.